Каждый раз я вспоминаю детство, помню наше место. По 16 устали целоваться, ты взяла мою футболку.
It's just a fanfiction, a story written by me, writer. This has nothing to do with mentioned ideal BTS members, real life event, behavior characteristics. Pics, sounds, videos which are used in this video are not mine. Credit goes to rightful owners. But the editing and the storyline is mine. Do not copy it. In the church, a priest was reading holy vows for wedding. In front of him there was stood the bride and the groom in wedding attire. Strangely, the wedding hall wasn't filled with lots of prestigious people, considering the fact that the Royal Highness Lee Wai-yin was getting married today. Just a few servants were there to witness the wedding. Her parents or family wasn't there present too. The reason behind her family's absence was the groom. The groom, Kim Taehyung, wasn't their choice. He wasn't their known royal blood, nor he had his parents with him. When Wai-yin told her parents about her wanting to wed Taehyung, they immediately opposed her. But seeing wasn't budging from the decision, as usual, her parents gave in to their only daughter's wish. But to display their obvious dislike towards Taehyung, Wai-yin's parents didn't come to witness the wedding. Do you, Kim Taehyung, take Miss Lee Wai-yin as your lawfully wedded wife? Hearing the praise, the said man looked into the said woman's eyes. I do. Do you, Miss Lee Wai-yin, take Mr. Kim Taehyung as your lawfully wedded husband? The said woman looked deep into the brown eyes of the said man. The day they met first time flashed in her memory. After hiding from her bodyguards, the spoiled, selfish royal highness named Wai-yin was roaming alone on the city road during night. She was wearing a black hoodie, also a black mask. Her ears were adorned with the headphones in which her favorite songs were playing. She was fully engrossed into the music. A small hiss left her mouth as she stumbled with someone, and her phone fell on the ground, which was in her hand a while ago. She looked at the person and said angrily, "Are you blind or what, lowlife? Can't you see a person is walking?" The person whose name was Kim Taehyung found this very disrespectful, as she is the one who is not looking while walking, but instead of apologizing, she is calling his lowlife. Look, miss, first of all, it's your fault, and second, I am not lowlife. I am... His words got stuck in his throat as he saw the face behind her mask, which came down her chin while she was picking up her phone from the street. You what, lowlife? Narrowing her eyes, she asked him in anger. A faint smile made its way to her lips, remembering that day. She opened her mouth and said, I do. I announce you two now legally wedded husband and wife. Now may groom kiss the bride. As the priest said those words, she felt him getting nervous. Though their gaze didn't falter from each other, she felt him trying hard to not tear his gaze from away. She shifted her gaze from his eyes to his ears. They were coated with a faint pink hue. How adorable. She again looked at the eyes of the man in front of her, a man she met just a few months ago. A man whom she thought very weird at first, a man who found beauty in her flaws, selfishness. A man who made her feel beautiful, a man with whom she forgot about her insecurities. A man from whom she taught to embrace her flaws and do more than best in which she is good at. A man who did help her to seek the best version of herself without him realizing, even intending to do so. A man who was a total stranger to her few months back, but now she couldn't seem to say no to him. She looked at the same man in front of her. Did that man even know how much power he held on her? Shaking her head a little, she leaned towards him and held his collar. She brought his face closer to hers while looking into his eyes. Then her eyes fell on his lips. If not this man, then who? She crashed her lips with his. Both of their eyes became closed. He held her by her waist and her hands left his collar only to disappear in his hair. After devouring each other for a brief moment, they parted away. After hearing clappings from her servants, now not only his ears but also her cheeks were also adorned with pink hue. She looked down a little while he scratched his neck. That's pretty how much the wedding of a royal highness happened. Sitting on the royal car, Wyan and Taehyung was heading towards the royal palace, as per Wyan's family's tradition. According to her family tradition, newlywed couple of the family spent their wedding night in their ancestral royal palace. Parents of the family usually welcome the new couple in the palace, but no one would be there when Wyan and Taehyung would reach there, again cause her parents were against her choice of groom. She looked out of the window only to witness the grey clouds bearing news of the heavy rainfall. I should be smiling widely today. Then why my lips are curling down? That time she felt her right palm, which was interlocked with her newly wedded husband, was being squished. It seems like today's gonna be rain, cats and dogs. Yeah. When the newly wedded couple reached the palace, it was almost night as the wedding took place during evening. As soon as Wyan and Taehyung got off the car, they were welcomed by a servant. There isn't anyone other than us in the palace, right? No, madam. Good. You also go with this car itself. Lowering his gaze, the servant nodded and left from there in the car. Taehyung let out a chuckle. Oh, you scared the poor guy as always. Seeing him laughing, she sheepishly smiled at him. After his laughter stopped, she told him, "Let's go inside then." He nodded and held her hand with one hand whilst in the other hand he was holding their bag. They both went inside. Standing on the palace rooftop, Taehyung was looking at the clouded sky. Written, on the other hand, was taking out things from their bag. Written, hearing his soft voice, she looked at him. Tonight is our wedding night. Don't you want any gift from me? Looking down, she nodded her head. The wedding ring you are wearing right now, please wear it. Try to wear it always. Always. At least keep it with you, please. He nodded his head. Stand on the middle, Taehyung. Turning her back towards him, she cut his words off. Understanding very well that she didn't want him to utter the word promise, he remained silent. He stood at the middle of the palace rooftop. She started to read the old book they brought in their bag. After reading few lines from the desired page of that book, the invisible lines of the rooftop started to glow. He looked at her face and she nodded him a yes, still murmuring the lines of the book. Understanding her indication, he closed his eyes and spread his both hands in the air. In seconds, his body started to glow in yellow light. He fisted his both palms, and within seconds, the handsome man in front of her eyes became a dragon. A big golden dragon with wings, fangs, and long thick tail with fire on the tip. The deep brown eyes now became emerald green. On their wedding night, her husband became a beast. She looked at the dragon in front of her, massive, dangerous, totally opposite from the deep brown-eyed man. His wings creating storm like wind. His golden skin was glowing. The fire in his tail tip started to become big, very big. When the pattern in the rooftop fully became visible, she placed the book on the ground and grabbed the knife they brought. Placing her left palm above the now visible line of the pattern, she cut her palm and her blood fell on the line, blood of a newly married woman. She immediately backed off from the line as the line became red. Soon space between the pattern became hollow, just like a big well. By seeing the space between the lines, no one can tell that beneath there was a whole big palace. The portal is open for a few seconds. You need to hurry before it disappears. The green-eyed dragon looked into her eyes and let out a growl. You need to hurry. You need this. The red color of the line started to fade. Again letting out a growl, the dragon finally entered the portal. That time she saw the ring. He was holding the ring between his big nails. She knew it wasn't possible for a dragon, but she saw witness in his massive green eyes. Was it tears? Within very few minutes, the rooftop became normal. No traces of the pattern or portal. No traces of any dragon. Her knees became weak. She fell on the ground and supported her back by the wall behind her. Taehyung was a dragon from another world which was connected by this portal, and only a newly wedded royal blood would activate it. In Taehyung's world, one could see every magical being which was only a fiction in Vian's world. Many thousands of years ago, both worlds' beings could go to another one with a snap of finger. But eventually, the balance between two worlds got disturbed, so two worlds got separated. All the portals were closed. That time, the responsibility of protecting the portal fell on Vine's ancestors' shoulder, and only they and their offspring could open the portal. In Taehyung's world, he offended a witch by mistakenly destroying her magic potion. So, being angry, she transported him in Vine's world. Taehyung had 1 year in his hand to find the royal offspring of the ancestor who was protecting the portal. The witch also casted a language spell on him so that he could speak and understand every language. If he didn't go back to his world within that time, his people would forget about his existence. He would forget them too. He would also lose his dragon and become trapped in this world. So, after coming here and struggling a lot with this world's atmosphere and culture, he researched about the royals and came to know about Vian. He then started to search for her while struggling hard to survive in this world. Then, after 6 months, he finally met her that night. First, whatever he was saying to her made no sense to her, but after pestering her a lot of time, she finally chose to give him a chance and search for her ancestral book in Royal Library. In that book was written a lot of things which he was telling her. He even showed her his dragon. She believed him, but she refused to help him as not everyone in this world could have a dragon, right? And moreover, she wasn't getting anything in return from helping him. She didn't disclose his identity to anyone. She kept him with her as an entertainment. But with time, he became much more than that to her. He gathered the pieces of her. She herself didn't know that was missing. So finally, she agreed to help him. No matter how much her selfish mind told her that she shouldn't let go of this man, she ignored it. She saw the way he cared about his dragon. How could she snatch his soul from him just to keep him to herself? A loud thunder echoed hearing. She glanced at her wedding ring, a tear left her eyes. Then one, then another. In no time, the woman in late 20s started to cry like a child. As if the nature also felt her emotions, it started to rain like cats and dogs there, muffling the sounds of her crying. If only I could spend at least one more day with you. Just one more day. Lines of the song left her mouth.
Fill my heart with song, yeah, let me sing forevermore. You were all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be